No matter how difficult life feels today, never forget that God can still create something beautiful from the hardest seasons of our lives. It was early Sunday evening, and I was walking my dog through the neighborhood when I noticed Zach, the teenage son of one of my neighbors. He was sitting alone on the curb in front of his house, staring into the distance. I smiled and asked, "Enjoying the evening?" He looked up at me and gave a tired smile. "Not really. I'm just trying to find the courage to face another week. The weekend went by so fast, I can't believe tomorrow is already Monday." Then he sighed. "I'm exhausted. Life just never seems to slow down." As I listened, I realized Zach wasn't simply tired. He was another young man being swallowed by the constant rush of everyday life, so focused on surviving each day that he had stopped looking forward to tomorrow. So I sat down beside him. "You know, Zach, no matter how busy life gets, we still need something that gives us the strength to face a new week." He looked at me without saying a word. Every new day is part of the future God is giving us. And the best way to walk into that future is with hope. He shook his head. "I wish I could feel that kind of hope." I smiled gently. Hope isn't just something you feel. It's something you choose. And once you choose it, you have to keep choosing it every day. He thought about that for a moment. "Maybe. I don't know. Lately I've been worried all the time. Sometimes I'm afraid I'll never work hard enough to reach the goals I've set for myself." "I understand." I looked down the quiet street before continuing. "Worry has a way of casting shadows over tomorrow. It makes the future look darker than it really is. So when I tell you to choose hope, I'm also telling you to keep choosing it, even on the days when it feels difficult." He looked at me, still uncertain. "So you're saying I should just be optimistic? Not just optimistic, but willing to believe that tomorrow can still hold something good?" He frowned. "How can anyone be optimistic these days? Every time I turn on the news, it's another disaster, another crisis, another reason to worry. People seem stressed all the time. Honestly, sometimes it feels like the whole world is falling apart." I nodded. "I understand why you feel that way. I see those same headlines, but I don't believe they're telling the whole story." "What do you mean?" "The news usually tells us what went wrong. It rarely tells us what's quietly getting better." He crossed his arms. "Like what?" "For starters, medical technology is advancing faster than ever. Doctors are diagnosing diseases earlier. New treatments are being developed every year. Some illnesses that terrified previous generations are now preventable or even disappearing." He looked genuinely surprised. "I never really think about those things." "Most people don't. Good news usually doesn't make the front page." Zach leaned back and looked up at the sky. "Yeah, but aren't all those breakthroughs making big companies even richer?" I smiled. "Some of them, sure, but that's only part of the story." He waited for me to continue. "A lot of people who've been blessed with success choose to give something back. Have you ever heard about the millions of children in Africa receiving malaria vaccines because people around the world donated to make it possible?" His expression changed. "No. I guess I never hear stories like that." "Exactly. There are far more acts of kindness happening than most people realize." After a moment he asked, "Isn't that mostly wealthy people? You know, billionaires and business leaders?" "Some are, but many aren't." I pointed toward the park across the street where a group of teenagers were cleaning up litter after a weekend community event. "Look around. Young people are making a difference every day. Volunteering, helping neighbors, starting charities, supporting local communities. Your generation is doing far more good than you probably give yourselves credit for." He looked at the volunteers for a few seconds. I've never thought about it that way. The mistake is believing that only successful people can change the world. So, you're saying ordinary people matter too? I laughed softly. They matter the most. He nodded slowly. Then another worry crossed his face. But honestly, that almost makes me feel worse. Why? Because now it feels like one more responsibility, like I have to save the world too. I shook my head. No, Zach. God isn't asking you to carry the whole world on your shoulders. So what is He asking? Simply to love the people He places in your path. He stayed quiet. You already do more good than you realize. I do? Of course. I began counting on my fingers. When you recycle instead of throwing everything away, when you save water, when you shop at a local business instead of always choosing the biggest corporation, when you donate clothes you no longer wear, when you encourage someone who's having a hard day. I smiled. Those things may seem small, but they create ripples you'll probably never see. He looked down at the sidewalk. I've never thought those little things mattered. They matter more than you imagine. After a brief silence, I added, and that's one of the reasons I'm proud of you. He looked surprised. Proud of me? Yes. His eyes drifted toward the ground again. But that's just everyday life. Honestly, it's that routine that wears me out. Every day feels exactly the same. I understand. I paused before answering. Routine can be exhausting, but it can also become meaningful. He looked at me with genuine curiosity. I don't even know how that's possible. Have you ever practiced gratitude? He frowned. What do you mean? I mean intentionally noticing the blessings that usually go unnoticed. He listened carefully. Tomorrow morning, try looking the cashier at the grocery store in the eyes and sincerely say, "Good morning." You might be surprised how much that simple moment means. He smiled. I can do that. And when you walk into a clean building, take a second to silently thank the person who cleaned it. You'll probably never meet them, but your heart will become more aware of the people who quietly make your life better. He nodded. I've honestly never thought about living that way. Gratitude changes what we notice, and once what we notice changes, life begins to change too. He smiled for the first time that evening. That actually sounds pretty simple. It is, but we're not finished yet. I smiled. Oh, there's much more. He leaned forward, listening carefully. One of the happiest habits you can develop is celebrating small victories. He raised an eyebrow. Small victories? Yes. Most people spend their lives waiting for one big moment. A promotion, a new house, financial success, the perfect relationship. And while they're waiting, they miss hundreds of victories worth celebrating. He thought about that. So you're saying the journey deserves to be celebrated too? Exactly. I smiled. Every step forward matters. Every lesson, every challenge you've overcome, every prayer God has already answered. He nodded slowly. I've been so focused on where I want to be, I forgot to appreciate how far I've already come. That's a wonderful realization. The evening breeze moved gently through the trees. After a few quiet moments, I continued. There are other things that bring joy too. Like what? Real relationships, time in nature, conversations like this one, sharing coffee with a friend, watching a sunset without checking your phone every few minutes. He laughed. I can't remember the last time I watched a sunset without looking at my screen. Exactly. And most importantly, I looked toward the sky. Spending quiet time with God. Sometimes the greatest conversations you'll ever have happen when no one else is around. He became thoughtful. I think I've been missing a lot of those moments. We all do sometimes. Then he asked something that made me smile. Is that why you walk your dog every evening? I laughed. Not only because of that, but it certainly helps. I looked down at my dog lying peacefully beside us. He knows this time belongs to him, and honestly, I wouldn't trade it for television or scrolling through my phone. Zach looked at him as the old dog slowly wagged his tail, almost as if he knew we were talking about him. We both laughed. After the laughter faded, I said, "Find some time each week to unplug. Do something with your hands, read a book, take a walk. Sit down with someone you care about and have a real conversation. Take your time back. It belongs to you." He took a deep breath. I guess that means I'll have to let go of some things to make room for better ones. Exactly. Life is full of goals, so make this one of yours. Choose to live well, not just successfully. The neighborhood had grown quiet. The first stars were beginning to appear. I stood up and clipped the leash back onto my dog's collar. Before I left, I looked at Zach one last time. Remember this: believing in tomorrow won't remove every obstacle from your path, but it will completely change the way you face them. Because your future isn't built on fear. It's built on trusting the God who's already waiting there. For a long moment, Zach didn't say anything. He simply stared into the distance with a different expression than when I had first found him. There was peace in his eyes now. Hope. I started walking home. Just before I reached the corner, I heard him call out, "Good night." I turned around. He smiled. "I'll see you in the future." I smiled back. "I'll be looking forward to it." If this message encouraged your heart today, type Amen in the comments. And if you know someone who needs a little hope right now, please share this video with them. If you'd like me to pray for you personally, or if you simply need someone to listen, feel free to send me an email. You'll find my email address in the description below. I personally read every message, reply to each one, and keep everything completely confidential. Don't lose hope. God is already preparing the path ahead of you. God bless you.